Yep.
Joining me right now for
You
more
bet.
analysis, Proactive Communications President Mark Serrano and Democratic strategist John Rowley. Mark, starting with you, why do you think President Obama is not there?
President Obama has basically finished his job. Mission accomplished. He's finished. He's resting. That's more important to him at this point. He's just sailing through the end of his term.
Doesn't he want to make sure Hillary Clinton gets elected? I mean, that's part of his legacy.
Well, you would think so. And, you know, ironically, you know, you could see the disaster area from the window of Air Force One back in 2005, a lot better than he can see today's disaster area from the fairway on the Farm Neck Golf Club in Martha's Vineyard.
Right.
And it's inexplicable, Trish. It's inexplicable. And Hillary Clinton, by the way, is resting because, you know, she's obviously exhausted from the campaign trail. She's resting. He hasn't even commented, barely commented about this disaster when suffering is taking place and federal resources have been mobilized for this disaster, and he's not even showing up. Because he's finished.
Okay.
He's through. All he
John,
wants to do at this point is get Hillary elected, but he doesn't see the nexus between these two things.
John, you got an explanation for this one?
Well, first of all, we're also fortunate and to be lectured on tone deafness by Michael Brown, and I don't think the president needs to be lectured on tone deafness by him of all people.
Well,
I'm
do you
glad,
think he's not tone deaf here? I'm curious.
I'm glad.
Do you think the president is tone deaf in this one, or would you say he's just fine?
I think, first of all, I think within the next few days and in the aftermath, the president is going to be making sure that the aid that gets there, and I'm sure he's going to be on the ground for a variety of reasons.
If you were advising him, would you say, hey, that's fine, hit the golf course, get lots of pictures of it, that'll be just fine while, you know, 40,000 people remain homeless in Louisiana?
It's a mistake. It's a mistake, but it's not a mistake of practicality. Yeah, I mean, the key thing is that the parish and city gets the resources they need in the aftermath, not only of this flood, but of a police shooting, and then we also have the Alton Sterling shooting. So they have had a lot of tragedy right now, and I'm glad that we now have a lot of people on the right clamoring and empathizing with the people of Louisiana. We didn't see any of that before, and I think one point I want to make. Now, hold on. One point I want to make. Here's what I'm going to say.
Let Mark get in.
All
right, hold on.
Look, let's not forget. In 2005, Governor Blanco and Mayor Nagin blocked federal disaster relief for political points against George Bush. That's what that was about. Donald Trump is on the ground in Louisiana today, and his opponent is nowhere near.
Well, let's talk about this. So Donald Trump is down there, actually wheels up right now. He's just about to leave, but he was down there, and he was meeting with one of the charities that's really trying to help people down there. He's meeting with some of these displaced homeowners. It is a presidential image, whether you like it or not.
No cameras on their tour, Trish.
Hillary Clinton, meanwhile, just, you know, resting. I mean, John, is she just saying,
here's how this is very different. Here's how this is very different. This was devastating for Bush and the Republicans.
No. I want to talk about here now. No. I'm over Katrina. I spent 6 weeks down there covering Katrina. I want to get to the here and now and talk about, is this really appropriate that Hillary Clinton sit it out? Is she missing an opportunity?
Well, there will be an opportunity for a while because the suffering doesn't end today or tomorrow. I mean, what the real work in these, if you've been on the ground, like I've been on the ground in these tragedies, the real work begins now. And so I think it's how the localities interact with the federal government and get the resources they need. And I think the reason there's not going to be the political fallout is because George Bush took off 470 days of vacation. The president, no matter what he's doing this week,
he takes off a couple weeks refused to play golf out of reverence to our military.
470
he didn't play golf because he respected our military too much. He said, I won't do it, but
I don't want to
there have been 300 rounds of golf.
Right? You know, that's ancient history.
Obama.
Right now, you got an election going on right now. Hillary Clinton choosing to take the time off. The president up there in Martha's Vineyard playing golf, and Donald Trump is the only one actually out there talking to people on the streets of Louisiana. So I know you give him credit for that. John, if nothing else, can you give his campaign managers credit for that one?
God help us if we need our empathizer in chief to be Donald Trump, but whether he had planned to be there or not, it's smart to be there. I'm glad he's there. He's had one good day of the last 20, and so
we'll
tip your hat to him.
He's had a week that is turning this campaign around. This is the week that everyone will remember.
I am glad you brought that up because that is what we are going to talk about next. Mark and John, good to see you. I'm going to see you guys in a little bit.